worthy of capture.
I deleted by mistake. I stopped being blonde years ago. What the fuck happened?
You stopped being what years ago?
Blonde. You know,
Blonde.
I deleted the picture that I
Oh, I
needed
see.
to
Do you remember roughly what it was?
Wait, eccolo nato. Lipon. I found. Likewise, they translated Kochira Koso.
Yes.
But I never heard it in
it's usually
conversation.
It's usually said when somebody says thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, yeah, but it's a way of saying no, thank you. So you say kochira koso, thank you, thanks to you too. So if it's not clearly, you know, if two people go away on a trip and it was really enjoyable and you both come back, it's not like one of them has more responsibility for the trip than the other. Then one person might say arigatou gozaimashita, and the other one say kochira koso arigatou gozaimashita.
We have to, so we can use it speaking with sensei. It's not abrupt.
No, it's very polite. It's really polite actually, because it's kochira koso. So koso means it's a kind of way of emphasizing a particular thing. It sort of says like this much too, koso. So kochira koso means if somebody said, if you know, arigato itself means there has been difficulty, means that you have made an effort for me, arigato. So if somebody says to you, thank you for your hard effort, arigatou gozaimashita, and you say kochira koso, means from me too, thank you. Yeah.
Because the translator, not the Google Translate, the other translator we're using, is like an expression, and it is I who should say it so. It's like it's me that I should say thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what it means. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense now.
Yeah.
Because you know they was keeping repeating it, and I couldn't put it in a phrase on Duolingo, and I was like really stuck. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it can be used in other ways as well. Watashi koso. You can like say watashi koso something to mean like especially me something. Yeah.
Okay.
But usually kochira koso is used to is used when somebody says thanks and as a response to this. Yeah. Okay. I don't have a new lesson, guys, because as it's getting towards the end of the financial year, all of my clients suddenly want all of their money spent, which means I've got now too much work until the end of March. Yeah. It's good until you wake up in the morning and there's like 30 emails and 5 messages on your phone. It's like, oh God. So what I thought we would do is just go over last week's lesson again. If you haven't already done it, then it will be useful. And then we can maybe have a little bit of extra revision at the end, maybe a bit of conversation practice. Yeah. Okay, so let's begin with this. Have any of you not seen this lesson? Giving reason. Just everybody's seen it. Okay, cool. Let's go through it then. If I go too fast and you want to ask any questions, just say stop and stop me. So using the te form in verbs, e adjectives like e adjective kute, na adjective de, is usually used to sequentially arrange a group of verbs, a group of actions you're doing, or a multitude of adjectives to describe one thing. For example, tabete ikimashou means let's eat and then, so the te means and then, ikimashou, let's go. If we're using the kute form with an e adjective, atsukute karai desu, it's hot and spicy. And with na adjectives, benri de nigiyaku desu. It's convenient and lively. So we can mix and match these, of course. We can say benri de karai desu or atsuku de nigiyaku desu. There's no problem to mix and match these. Just make something into the te form, and you can slot it into the sentence to mean and then or as well as. But just like in English, in Japanese, and can be used in a way to mean also because. For example, the theatre is full and I can't find a seat. I'm hot and I don't feel well. And we're going on holiday and looking forwards to it. So in each of these cases, the outcome is described by the second subclause and the reason is given by the first subclause. So and could be replaced with because. I can't find a seat because the theatre is full. I don't feel well because I'm hot. We're looking forward to it because we're going on holiday. So in this case, these are not disconnected statements. An example of a disconnected statement would be something like, my name is Andy and I live on the moon. So there's no relationship between my name and where I live. These are just disconnected. So we can still use and here. We can do the same thing in Japanese for the te forms of verbs and adjectives to give a reaction or reason to the following subclause. For example, hito ga takusan ite, Linda-san ga yoku miemasen. So hito ga takusan ite, there are so many people, I cannot see Linda well. And we can also use de as a kind of te form for nouns as well. For example, matsuri de takusan hito ga imasu. Because it's a festival, matsuri de takusan hito ga imasu. There are many people. So the question that you probably don't ask yourself now because you've already been to this session is, what's the difference between using te for simply disconnected and because? Well, it doesn't matter, because in other languages, we don't need to make a distinction. The connection is clear, or I should say it's implicit by the entire meaning of the sentence. We don't need to do any kind of grammatical marker. Any questions? Everybody good? Cool. Let's run through the exercises just to get us going. Just find the slide with the exercises on it. It's gone. Just a second, guys. Sorry. Press on. Here we go. Okay, so what we'll do is will give me a chance to go and make myself a cup of birthday coffee. Aren't I exciting? Birthday coffee? Ooh!
I hope there is some at least wiped cream on top, something.
I've got some poured cream I can put on top. Yeah.
Hot cream?
Yeah, like double cream.
Ah, okay, even better.
Yeah.
Whatever is double is better.
Yes. Double means double.
Negatives.
So if I put some pouring cream and some double cream on, maybe they cancel each other out.
Depends. Will you be pouring the double cream?
Oh, that's true.
Doubling the pouring cream.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a problem.
That makes no sense. That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. 1, 2. I'm not one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, good. Okay. So, Simon, can you do 1 to 3? Wayne, 4 to 6. Piotr, 7 to 9. And Konstantina, 10 to 12. 大丈夫ですか? よし、頑張ってください。私はコーヒーを作りに行ってきます。Okay, so Simon, would you like to go first?
うるさくてアナウンサーがよく聞こえます。聞こえません。
Good. Announcer が、you say よく聞こえません?
Yes.
Did you?
You did.
Okay, and dva.
I know we have had this like 3 times now, but I can't remember what relieved is, and I didn't find it.
Okay, so do you know what the first bit would be to hear that?
So I had Soreo Kite.
So we'll keep there, and then Wayne, you think you know the answer to this? I think you had this last week, Wayne. I think you answered it pretty quickly.
No, I didn't.
Have
you
a
not?
cheap heart, man. Have a cheap heart.
Piotr?
Anshin shimasu.
Anshin shimasu.
Yeah.
You remember now?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Simon, number 3.
劇場が詰まって席を見つけません。
お、ちょっと待って。席が見つ... How do you say the last part?
見つけません。
That means I
見
won't
つけられ
find.
ません。
Very good. Yeah. 見つけられません. Very good. 4, Wayne.
はい。暑くて気分が悪い。
Can you say again?
暑くて。
暑くてね。
暑くて。Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. 気分が
Yep.
悪い。
悪い。ですね。
です。
はい。Good. Good. And number 5, we're going on holiday and looking forward to it.
My attempt will be 休日に
休日に
行くて。
Now, what's iku in TEFL? It's a what's it called? An exception to the normal Group 1 rule.
Yeah.
Konstantina?
で、
行ってね。
で、
行って。
楽しみにしています。
楽しみにしています。Yeah, good. When you say kyojitsu, I think you meant kyujitsu, right?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Kyujitsu, yeah.
So this is fine. You'd be completely understood. Kyujitsu is usually, I mean, as you would know, it means yasumi no hi, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's just put this on the screen a second. Kyujitsu. So it means yasumi no hi. So this actually refers to the day of the holiday. Yeah, exactly. You would be understood if you said kyujitsu ni there. Usually people say something like ryoko or not like that. Ryoko. Ryoko. Even yasumi, which I know is the same character. Yasumi ni itte. Then this is a bit more usual for saying to go on holiday. Yasumi ni itte.
Yeah.
Or if you want to, you could say kyujitsu shite. We're going to have a holiday. Yeah. Okay, cool. And 1, 2, 5, 5. And number 6.
忙しくて
忙しくて
イライラしています。
イライラしています。Perfect. Excellent.
Okay, there's a kanji for イライラ. Okay.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Although, but I think usually this is usually written in hiragana actually, but yeah, doesn't really matter. Okay, Piotr. The station is far and inconvenient, so going home is tiring.
Oh, prep inconvenient. I forgot that one. Eki ga tokute, and then inconvenient is
と
不便な。
少々お待ちください。私のタイピング仕方はそんなに早くないですよ。はい。One more time.
不便で。
Yeah.
帰りが疲れる。
帰りが。帰り。Not that. 帰りが疲れる。
はい。
疲れる。
疲れています。It's tiring.
Yeah. So if you, I think we covered this a week ago or so. There are some verbs which the present, the past, and the present continuous form present very slightly different meanings So
to be tired, and as in I am tired from what I did.
yes. So let me just put this down. Tsukareru. This usually means something is tiring. And when I say something, I also mean someone can be tiring as well. Tsukarete imasu. This means both. I am tired and I am getting tired.
As in during a seminar.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. And skareta. Skareta, this means, so this is the past tense, of course. Sorry, it should be skareteiru, just to be consistent. Skareta means I am tired.
That means I got tired and I'm still tired, basically.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If you wanted to refer to an event in the past which was tiring, then you could also just say tsukareta or tsukaremashita. For example, senshu no koshukai ga tsukaremashita. It was last week's seminar was tiring. You can absolutely do this, but usually if you're referring to yourself, then you stick to these kind of formats. The same thing applies with wakaru. Wakarimasu itself means I understand, which you can use in response to somebody saying, wakarimasu ka? Do you know? Yes, I understand. Yeah, got it. I can say, yes, wakarimasu, I understand. But this kind of means, in a way, I can comprehend. Wakarimashita is really the right word. Wakarimashita really is the correct way to say, I got it. I got it. I understand.
I have understood and am now in the state of being understanding.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And this is a really good way of saying thank you for explaining it as well.
Should not be said as wakatta yo.
Yeah.
Neither wakaru, you said the other time. We cannot say wakaru in the sense with sensei.
No.
This is like very, okay, I got it, just don't break my...
Don't break my balls. Yeah. Wakarimasu. Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't say wakaru anyway to a teacher because it's in the plain form. But even if you say wakarimasu, this is fine, wakarimasu. But it just kind of means I am able to understand rather than thank you for explaining it to me.
At some point, I will understand in the future.
Yeah. Oh, at some point, I'll get it. Wakatteimasu is very specifically meant to use I know. So if a teacher explains something to you and you say wakatteimasu, then possibly you won't get much help from them again. It's like saying I already knew, thanks. Yeah, I mean there are times when you need to say wakatteimasu if somebody asks you about a fact, then you may need to say wakatteimasu, but don't use it to mean, oh, thank you for explaining it to me, because it doesn't really mean this. All right.
So tsukareru would work here, just to...
Yes, yeah, to talk about things, because this is basically a regular occurrence, isn't it? The fact that going home at any time is tiring. Yeah. Question.
Ipakute shiawase.
It's in Japanese, actually. Okay. Oh, you got another one, haven't you, Piotr? Yeah.
Tenki ga yokute kimochi ii.
Kimochi ga ii. Desu ka?
I said kimochi ii, which was
kimochi
last week as well, but you could use that.
So isn't it? Kimochi ii.
By the way, just to refer back to the number 8, if I were to say ipakute shiawase desu, just would this?
You can do this. Yep, shiawase desu. Okay. It's satisfying.
Thank you.
Right. Konstalinka, a new car is expensive and I can't afford one this year.
The gasoline is expensive, not the cars anymore.
Everything's expensive, especially if you're buying souvenirs from the Ukraine.
The 290 arrived. The
Yeah, I
gasoline
know.
here.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. Well, that's
90?
that's a lot more expensive than the Netherlands, I can tell you, which is 240 at the moment.
Well, 240. Last night it was already 246.
Was it?
Yeah, so this morning is probably hitting 250 as well.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Athens is already 250, 260 in some gasoline stations.
I'm scared of going out now.
Yeah, don't go. That's why I'm using my bicycle everywhere.
It's a good idea.
Anyway,
It's a good idea. Until the
okay.
cost of rubber goes up.
I'm gonna use Yuki. I'm gonna ride my dog. Anyway, let's continue. 新しい車が高くて今年は買えないです。
新しい車が高くて今年 Can you say one more time?
今年は買えないです。
買えないですね。はい。Good. Perfect. This week I did a lot of work and I'm tired.
Okay. 今週たくさん仕事して疲れたです。
疲れたです。
I remember correctly that we don't use ni or other particles after konshu to identify the time of the week because it's inside the.
Yeah. Correct. Correct.
I wasn't sure. That's why.
This is correct. Yeah.
Sorry, can skarata be used as an adjective?
As a not adjective.
Well, skarata des.
Maybe I didn't.
Skareta. Sorry. Sorry. Skareta des. So you can actually do this. You can say I am, and then plain form of verb. But it's skareta des. This kind of, sorry, it should just be skareta or skarimashita. But if you say skareta des, it kind of means. Give me a second. So don't ask me to cook dinner or something like this. It's a.
You say skaratan des.
Yeah, this gives it a little bit more emphasis, but even skareta des kind of, it actually says, it puts you in a situation. It says, I am tired because of working this week. So it puts the emphasis on what you are rather than the facts of what you just explained. Yeah.
So that's the same with the number 10, right? Kainai des could also be kaimasen.
Yes, exactly this. Yeah. Cool. And the last one?
And the last one. Okay, that sound that what I did was too small. I don't know if it's correct. Nomisugete futsukayoi desu.
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
Nomisugite futsukayoi desu. It's already on the top of my things I pick when I go to Futsuka. Futsukayoi desu. Or futsukayoi ga arimasu. Both are fine. Is that good? Is that good? Cool. Any questions, guys? Nicht. Okay. Simon, I think you did the reading last week, didn't you? When we did the sumo ring, didn't we? So this week, let me ask. We're going to do the same exercise, guys. Let me ask. Piotr wa mou perepera dakara. Wayne-san. Yaru kai?
Hi.
Hi. Shoshimashi kudasai. I've just got to find it. Lesson 14, I think. Yes. I'll send it to you on a Facebook message, Wayne.
Hi. Okay.
I've done this before. Constantina, would you like to be the other person?
I cannot say no, so that's fine.
Correct. You know me too well.
Should I start?
Just give Constantina a chance to have a quick look.
Hold your horses.
So, sorry?
I said, hold your horses to Wayne.
Ah.
He's ready to go.
Uma
No.
motte. Okay, so this episode is the referee's role. On entering the sumo arena, Mr. Smith and Mr. Tanaka first look around for Linda and Mr. Smith's wife. So let's have, I think it's almost the same balance of words. Wayne, would you like to be Smith? And
Hi.
Constantine, would you like to be Tanaka?
Hi. わお、すごい人ですね。
sumoの、I'm completely blind. 初日は、
初日。
初日は、いつも万人です。
Good.
人がたくさんいて、oh jeez, I forgot the katakana.
It's da. Linda.
Linda Sanya. Why are you laughing?
Linda san. Yeah.
Linda Sanya. 奥さんがよく見えませんね。
はい。
I think.
さあ、私たち。
Huh?
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's previous line, Wayne.
Jumping. Yeah, sorry.
Right.
Yeah. I jump a line, yeah.
You suddenly possessed Tanaka. Your spirit entered into his soul. Ah!
He wants to read everything. I'm fine with it. Go.
あそこにいました。ほら、相撲を見ないから焼き鳥を食べているのが見えますよ。
はい。
Okay. さあ、私たちもあそこへ。
So when it's when it's there, like at the end there, this is like ni. Yeah.
Okay, so like a direction. Okay.
Yeah.
あそこへ行って、
This is the most important word you will ever learn.
ビールです。
Right.
ビールです。
Yeah.
That's
You
all
must learn this completely by heart.
ビールです。飲みながら座って見ましょう。
見ましょうね。
見ましょう。
見ましょう。はい。
でもこの取り組みが終わるまで。
終わるまでね。
終わるまで
うん、
ここでいいです。
うん、
うるさくて
It's anana. I cannot hear the pineapple.
アナナが
It's announcer.
アナウンサー
Announcer.
アナウンサ がよく聞こえませんか？図書の上にいるのは？
富士の峰と、
Good, good.
OK。桜りです。
竜ですね。
竜です。Confusion is OK。
わてな。
派手な。
着物を着て、表の上で、
土俵
の上で、草回っているのは？
ちょっと待って、漢字の読み方は下手くそですよ。動き回る。
動き。I need to read that under bins. 回っているのは？
はい。
どういう人ですか？
どういう
人ですか？
はい。
あれは行事です。
Struggle with this.
I know.
ジャッジ
ですね。
はい。
でも、それは建前です。In Italian, sorry. There's no point. I just said it. Nothing. Just leave it be.
Okay.
黒い。魔物を。
This is 着物。
Why did they? Oh my God! I think I'm dyslexic.
Dyslexic? You can't even say it. Are you drunk?
I know because
I'm dyslexic.
Somebody needs to be drunk on your birthday.
Yeah,
I
me.
had a cough. 着物を着て、土俵の周りに座っているのが審判人で。そうです。本当のジャッジです。I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
人たちは、歴史の帯で偉いんですよ。
Good.
There's another. Sorry, I have to go back. Oh my.
No, that's it.
It's
That's
Wayne.
the end of your bit.
It's Wayne.
It's Wayne. It's Wayne. It's Smith.
Where are we?
It's the fifth line from the bottom. It's the bit that starts with ja.
じゃあ、表示はジャッジの権限がないんですか？
はい。
実は
実は
実は、決定権は、
はい。
I'm feeling exhausted. ないんです。
はい。And Wayne? We're nearly finished, guys. Don't
そう
worry.
ですか。ちょっと納得で冷ませないね。
できませんね。
できません。
Okay, it's not only me that I'm
できませんね。
Yeah. Sa and ki do look similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. でも、発言
発言
権はありますよ。
それを聞いて安心しました。
Okay, good. Hey, お疲れ様でした. This is quite a difficult text, actually. I had difficulty going through it first time as well. Just to kind of develop our listening now, because I guess, especially Constantine and Wayne, while you're reading it, you're probably not actually trying to understand it at all, are you? So I'm going to read through it and be both people. I'll try to change the voices so that it's clear. And there's some words which you may not know unless you've been, if you've been in this lesson before, you'll know it.
Yeah, I know the context because we have done it last week.
Yeah. Smith. わあ、すごい人ですね。田中。相撲の初日はいつも満員です。人がたくさんいて、リンダさんや奥さんがよく見えませんね。スミス。あそこにいました。ほら、相撲を見ながら焼き鳥を食べているのが見えますよ。田中。さあ、私たちもあそこへ行って、ビールでも飲みながら座ってみましょう。スミス。でも、この取り組みが終わるまでここでいいです。うるさくてアナウンスがよく聞こえませんが、土俵の上にいるのは田中。藤の峰と桜竜です。スミス。派手な着物を着て土俵の上で動き回っているのはどういう人ですか？田中。あれは行事です。スミス。ああ、ジャッジですね。田中。でも、それは建前です。黒い着物を着て土俵の周りに座っているのが審判員で、本当のジャッジです。あの人たちは力士の帯で偉いんですよ。スミス。じゃあ、行事はジャッジの権限がないんですか？田中。実は決定権はないんです。スミス。そうですか。ちょっと納得できませんね。田中。でも、発言権はありますよ。スミス。それを聞いて安心しました。Okay, let's go through it together. ちょっと待ってね。Okay, let's run through it one at a time, shall we? So, Simon, would you like to do the first line?
わあ、すごい人ですね。
And translate, please.
Wow, cool, so many people.
Yeah, so many. So this sugoi is meaning lots of, really. Yeah. And Wayne, next one. Up to this point here, maybe.
To where? Oh, okay.
From here to here.
Okay. 相撲の初日はいつも満員です。 The first day of the sumo tournament is always full
Good.
of people or full.
Yeah, exactly. And Piotr, next line. You're muted, Piotr.
I thought I had unmuted, sorry. 人がたくさんいて、リンダさんや奥さんがよく見えませんね。So because there are many people, I can't see well Linda and your wife.
Good. Perfect. And Constantina, next line. Guys, you can leave yourself unmuted if you like, by the way.
あそこにいました。あら、相撲を見ながら、
So this is, by the way, this is hora.
ほら、私は腹、ほら。
Hora.
見ながら焼き鳥を食べているのが見えますよ。Okay, so there we can see the sumo while we're eating.
So it was asoko ni imashita.
They are there.
Yes.
Asoko ni.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Hora, I don't. Hora, look. Yes.
Look.
I have it
Yes.
here.
Good. Good. Good.
Hora.
Yeah.
We can see the sumo while we are eating minagara, while we're watching minagara. Yakitori, the thingy. Tabeteiru. We are eating while we are watching.
Not quite. So
let's watch while we're eating.
Not quite. No. We have to. I know, especially with these long sentences, it's a little bit complex to get the actual meaning. But what we have to do is remember that the most significant part of the whole sentence is usually right at the end. This tells you who you're talking about or what you're talking about, the actual main topic of the sentence when it's not mentioned. So miemasyo means what, Constantina? Careful.
Not let's watch.
No, not let's watch, but miemas.
Let's find them.
No.
Miemas.
Mieru.
We can see.
We can see, or I can see. Yes, we can see. So what can you see? Well, we got noga here. So no is being used as a. No, this isn't soften. This is a nominalization.
The nominalization.
Nominalizing the previous bit. So now you know that from where this hand is here to here, this is a subclause.
Okay, so we while eating we can see them.
No. So
no, we can see. No.
Okay, let's break this up. Sumo o minagara. So while watching sumo, yakitori o tabete iru. So eating while watching sumo. I can see.
From where we are sitting. Yes. No.
This is difficult.
This is Asoko.
They're over there. Look, while watching sumo and eating, I can see them. I can see them eating while watching sumo.
Eating.
No. I can.
No.
I can see the sumo eating my wife. Stop it. They're searching for Linda and his wife.
Yeah.
There they are.
I found them.
Look, I can see them watching sumo while eating yakitori.
So the wife and Linda, they are watching the sumo while they're eating.
And then you can see them doing this. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's no we. That's the problem. There's no we.
There is no we in sumo, except maybe there's a little bit of we if they sometimes hit each other very hard, and sometimes some we comes out. Simon, next line.
Sa watashi tachi mo asoko e itte biiru demo nominagara suwatte mimashou.
Good. Yes.
So yes, well, I don't know.
Sa is actually what you said. It's so. Sa. Well, so yeah.
So because it's again the thing at the end. Well, I would say let's go over there. Take a beer and sit and watch as well.
Good. While drinking. Nominagara ne?
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Good. So watashi tachi mo, us too. Asoko e itte, go over there. Biru demo, beer or something. Nominagara, while drinking beer or something. Suwatte, sit, mimashou. Let's watch. Wayne, next one.
でもこの取り組みが 終わるまでここでいいです。
Yes, good. So this means
Torikumi.
Torikumi is match. This is like shiai.
Okay. But let's stay here till this match is over.
Yeah, good, good. So Torikumi ga owaru made, until this match finishes. Koko de ii desu, this place is best.
Right.
And Piotr, next one.
うるさくてアナウンサーがよく聞こえませんが、土俵の上にいるのは、as it is loud, I can't hear the announcer well.
Good.
土俵 was the ring, right?
Yes.
So, who is on the ring?
Yes, good, good, good. And Konstantina?
Oh, burden.
Actually,
Ugino.
yeah, actually, don't worry about this one because this is just saying their names. Let's go on to the next one.
Okay.
From Smith here.
Wadena.
Hadena.
Hadena. Kimono o kite dohino.
Dohyo.
Dohyo uede.
Good.
What is this?
Ugo. This is ugo.
Okay, because it's not very clear. Ukoki mawate.
Yep.
Irunowa. Thank you. Irunowa.
Yep.
Doyo hito desu ka?
Doyu hito desu ne.
Doyu
hito desu ka.
Okay.
Hai.
So, hadena.
This means flashy. Flashy.
Yes, the flashy. Yes, I've written this. It's the adjective. Had the flashy. This flashy kimono, but that the end of the kite that he's wearing.
Good. Yep.
Dohyo. What I have this, I haven't written it.
Dohyo is ring, the sumo ring.
There, yes. Up there. Okay. Uko, I have written it somewhere. Ugogimas is the moving around.
Good. Yes. Good. Ugoki. So this is ugoku and mawaru together to mean to move around.
Move around. Who is this man?
Yeah, good.
Who is this man with the flashy kimono moving around the ring?
Yeah, yeah. So doyu, this kind of means what type of thing.
What type of person?
Yeah, yeah. So doyu hito desu ka? Right, good. Simon, do you want to do the next two lines?
あれは、行事です。行事です。
はい。
That is the referee.
Good.
Judge ですね。So he is the judge.
Good.
Or
Exactly.
well, whatever you call it.
Yep, correct. Wayne, next line.
でも、それは建前です。But建前?
Oh, okay.
Public face.
Who can explain what this is? Who remembers from the last time?
Yes, it's the public face, the attitude towards you show the other.
Yeah. So in this case, this means only in principle. Only in
Okay.
principle. Yeah.
It's only a front.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Piotr.
黒着物を着て土俵の周りに座っているのが審判員で本当のジャッジです。
Good.
黒着物を着て、so wearing the black kimono or you know clothing.
Yeah.
土俵の周りに座っている, so sitting around the ring のが審判員で, so those are the also, from what I found last time, those are the 5 judges spread around the ring in sumo.
Yep.
本当のジャッジです. Those are the real judges.
Yes. Yeah. Good. And then Constantina, next one.
And you point because
Sorry.
reading too fast.
Just here. Yeah.
Okay. Hito tatsi wa rikishi no obide. I don't know some obide. Erain desu yo.
Obi is old boy.
Oh, okay. So that hitotatsi wa, that men,
Those people.
those people, those people. Rikishi no. Why I remember Rikishi is the history.
So that's Rikishi. Rikishi is a wrestler.
Yeah, true. It's very close.
It is very close. Yeah.
So it's the referees. Okay, let's do the line. Yes. I don't know what I'm reading now. Erain desu yo.
Irain. Irai. This means elite, high level. Yeah.
Okay. They're the elite level of judges.
Well, yeah. It's not exactly saying that. Those people, hito tachi wa rikishi no obide, because they are the old boys, the old wrestlers. They are elite.
Okay.
Irain desu yo.
But the OB is Romanized. It's what stands for the OB? Obide.
Old boy.
Oh yeah, old boy.
Old boy.
Yeah.
The Japanese use this quite a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
OL for office ladies. Okay, Simon. Next one.
じゃあ、行事は
行事は
ジャッジの本当の権限がないんですか?
Good.
So
Good.
The referee is the decision or like
correct. Yeah.
Like a
authority to decide.
Authority, right?
Yeah.
So the referee does not have the authority of a judge, right?
Good. Exactly. Good. And Wayne? You're muted, Wayne.
じゃあ、
Next one now. It's this one here.
実は、権限、
This is
権
kete ken.
決定権は
Mhm.
ないです。
はい。
So, yeah, actually, they don't have the power or the right to judge or to decide.
To decide, exactly.
To
Yes.
decide,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. Yeah, exactly. And Piotr?
そうですか。ちょっと納得で、くできませんね。納得できませんね。
はい、そうですね。
Is that so? 納得
means understanding or comprehension or consenting.
Okay. So I have a bit of trouble understanding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult to understand, isn't it? ちょっと納得できませんね。はい。And Konstantina?
でも、発言権はありますよ。
Good. Yep.
But they have the right to express their opinion.
Very good. Very good. Yes. Hatsuken. And then finally, Simon?
それを聞いて、
Good. Yeah.
それを聞いて安心しました。
Yes.
I'm relieved to hear that.
Yes. Good. Well done. Okay. Good, guys. Let's. I want to do two more things before we finish today. One is torture of my fellow Japanese enthusiasts. Not looking too happy, Konstantina.
After 2 years, it's called masochist, and I'm prepared for everything.
Okay, just a second. Just got to find the page. Just a second, guys. Here. Here we go. Right, for certain adjectives which I will select for you, I'd like you to make these forms that you can see on the right from 1 to 13. So I'll give you two adjectives so that for number 12, you can say something is something and something else. So starting with Wayne, I'd like you to do disgusting, like the food disgusting, and bitter for number 12. Are you with us, Wayne?
Yes. So disgusting first.
Yes. Yeah. So disgusting for all of these, except when we get to number 12, do disgusting and bitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Disgusting, 気持ち悪い?
No, I mean like the food taste. Mazui.
まずい。まずい。まずいです。
はい。
I think it's go for 2 as well.
No, so what's the negative of mazui?
Okay. I thought mazui is already negative.
No. I mean, it is not disgusting.
Oh, this is not disgusting.
Is it mazui de wa arimasen or is it something else?
まずいではありません。
No, it's not this. It's an E adjective.
まずいじゃん。
Hey, I'm going to jump on to Piotr. So Piotr, can you do all of these first? So Wayne, listen up and you can hear the form for each of these.
So, mazui,
Hey.
mazukunai,
Hey.
mazukatta,
Hey.
mazukunakatta,
Hey.
mazuku,
Hey.
Motto mazuku narimasu. Oh crap, adjective. Sorry, back conditional. Mazukereba.
Good.
Was it mazutara?
Mazukattara.
Mazukattara. Yeah. Looks like is mazui so desu.
No, it's mazu so desu.
So mazu so desu, and then sounds like mazui so desu.
Good. Yes.
Okay. 2 is mazu sugimasu. Mazu suguru. Yeah.
Right.
And the second one was bitter. That was just looked it up, but it was tsunai.
Nigai.
Of course. Mazukute nigai desu.
Hey.
Degree of adjective. What was that again?
This is removing e and putting sa in place.
Yeah. So the as in omosa. So the mazusa. The degree of badness.
Yes. Good. Okay. Konstantina. Heavy and dark.
That's the heavy is omoi.
Good.
The dark kuroi. Kuroi is black.
So kuroi is black. It sounds like kuroi, but it's not. Kurai. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing the omoi first.
Hey.
Omoi, omokunai, omokatta.
Good.
Omokunakatta.
Good.
Omoku. Omoku.
Yep.
Omoku narimasu.
Yep.
Omokereba.
Good.
Omokattara.
Good.
Omoso desu.
Hey.
Omoso desu.
Just omoi so desu.
Omoi so desu.
Yeah.
Omosugimasu.
Hey.
And what was the other one?
Dark.
The dark. Kurai. Omote kurai desu.
Not omote, but
omokute kurai desu.
Hey.
A degree omasa.
Omasa. Good. Exactly. Good. Yeah. Simon, how about sweet and delicious?
Oishii.
Hey. Do you remember sweet? It's amai.
Right. Amai, amakunai, amakatta, amakunakatta, amaku, amakunarimasu, amakereba, amakattara, amaso desu, amai so desu, amasugimasu, amakute oishii desu.
Good.
And amasa.
Amasa. Good. And Wayne, how about cheap and deep? Cheap and deep.
Oku? In deep?
So this is fukai. Fukai.
Fukai.
Yeah.
Yasui?
Hey.
安くなかった。
Good. Yeah.
安く
Good. Yeah.
安くなければなりません。
No, no, no. Just yasukunaru. Yasukunaru.
安くなる。
Yeah.
So, I'm on 7 or 8.
It's number 7.
It's
Back
on
conditional.
7.
Yeah.
安くなりければ
No. If it is cheap. So how do we turn the E adjectives into the back conditional? Do you remember?
No, I'm a bit.
So remove the E and put kereba.
安ければ
Mm-hmm.
Like, 安かったら
Good. Yes.
安いそ
Good. No, sorry. Looks like is without the E.
う。安そ
Yes.
う。
Sounds like.
安いそうです。
Yes. Good. Good.
Yes. So 12, right?
Number 11. Too much. Yasui.
安きそうです。
No, no. Just sugiru on the end of yasui.
Yes. 安き
Yep. Just yasusugi, yasusugimasu or yasusugiru. Yeah.
安すぎる。
Mm-hmm. And then it is cheap and deep.
安くて深いです。
Yes. Good. Good. And the degree of the adjective?
安いさ。
Yasusa. Yasusa.
安さ。
Good. Yeah. Good. 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 Okay. Guys, there's a reason why I'm doing these kind of drills with the adjectives. And I've just started going back to the Asahi group and the Nihonbashi group doing this because, and this is where you need to kind of get your mind fixed on what to do next, really, because there's not much grammar left to learn for you guys. You've learned the vast majority of it. Of course, we've got a whole textbook here of Japanese grammar, and there's probably stuff in here we haven't done, but this is all complex stuff that you need to know if you're doing writing and literature. But for general conversation, you've done nearly all of the grammar. But now you're in the situation where in any sentence, you might have, well, basically, this is the same in any language. You'll have some fixed terms, some words, watashi wa, and then you'll get to a point where you've got basically a drop-down menu where you've got all these choices. For example, if you've got a verb or an adjective here, we've now got all these different ways that verb can be converted into different forms, or the way the adjective can be converted. Now, the problem isn't these bits. These aren't the problems. These are the problems in a sentence when you want to be able to speak at a reasonably good pace. Because what you don't want to do is get stuck here going through all the different variations of the verb or all the different variations of the adjective. So now it's important for you guys in the TASOGARE, the advanced group, that you can do these adjective conversions or the verb conversions like this. You don't have to do it immediately, like a click of the fingers, but you can't spend 30 seconds going, Atsui atsukunai, atsukunakatta, atsukatta kuna, atsusaku, and then just kind of get stuck here. This will take so much time. So, in terms of variation of the sentence, again, you've got some fixed terms, and then you might have another drop-down box here. You need to focus on these drop-down boxes, and these are almost certainly verbs and adjectives. So a bit like for you guys, if I put this into an Iaido context, if I say to you, do Ochiburi, you shouldn't be standing there going, Ochiburi, right. O is big. It's like, just fucking do Ochiburi. You've got to be able to kind of get it moving quickly. So I don't think there's too much importance now on learning lots of vocabulary. The adjective exercises aren't getting you to learn different adjectives. It's getting you to learn how to change the adjectives that you already know. Because you'll limit yourself in any conversation, you'll limit yourself to the things you know anyway. If you don't know a certain word, then you won't say the sentence. But within that stuff that you know that you can say, you need to be able to get to the right form of these adjectives or verbs pretty quickly. So you probably remember about 6 months or a year ago, I said, all of you should know the te form of every single verb for every group. So group 1, group 2, group 3, and all the exceptions. The te form has to be immediate. After 1 year of learning Japanese with me, because I put so much emphasis on the te form, I would expect you to be able to make the te form instantly of any verb, and correctly as well, of course. So that's priority 1, te form, but that should be already mastered. Now adjectives have got to be properly learnt, how to make different forms of them. Not all the variations of different adjectives, but the different forms of the adjectives. So I would stress that I think you've all got access to these slides. This is slide number 107. 107. If you've got 5 minutes free in your day, just do 5 minutes of this now. This one, and the next page is na adjectives, I think. Yeah, got the same thing for na adjectives. So just get used to doing this, and then you won't get stuck in a sentence. You won't end up going, oh, is it atsukunaru or atsukukeru? I don't know. Don't get stuck in these points halfway through a sentence. All right.
If I can, I had a question I wanted to ask a bit to the whole group, but I know what you mean, and in a way that's right. It has to be a bit more automated. Although I find it's a bit of a difference to go through a list and then you're in the swing. And for me, it's relatively simple. If you get an adjective and you have the list of forms and you just go through them as an exercise, but actually using them in a sentence gets a bit more tricky. But
yeah.
In contrast to what you said about vocabulary, I actually find that I'm at this point where if I spend the time, like we do with these reading sessions, to really dissect the sentences and get some help with vocabulary, I can understand the grammar behind it because we have gotten all these concepts. But I cannot just sit here and say something because I'm lacking so much vocabulary that I'm basically I don't even have enough to make a simple sentence. And I'm actually wondering a bit what's the best way that people have tried to build that vocabulary. I've tried a bit of kanji study and what is it called, wanikani and so on. But for me, this turns into an exercise of guessing the spelling, well, the pronunciation and the meaning of a kanji, which becomes like a riddle game, and that's fun. It's, you get good at it at some point, but for me it doesn't connect the meaning and the reading of it. Like I disconnected from the kanji, I can't connect the meaning with how it's pronounced. And when we speak, we don't speak in kanji, we speak with actual spoken words.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is anyone that has a sort of an input on this.
So let me answer one part of that multi-part question. I guess about year 3 into my Japanese study, when I was about 21, I realized that there was lots of adjectives and I had to learn them. I had to learn at least 30, which are the most commonly used ones. I did the really stupid way of learning, which is to write them all down on one sheet of paper and then spend 3 or 4 days. What if I was driving, I would just have a few in my head and I'll just repeat them. And I started to associate. So, you know, when you're a child and you're learning your language, you start to get strong associations between sound and meaning. And I developed those strong associations very early just through sheer repetition, not through doing anything sophisticated like doing a kanji study and learning the different ways in which it's used. I just, what's it called? When you break a password by just keep trying different passwords.
Brute force.
Brute force. I just did brute force learning. And I think that at the moment that would be good to get maybe 30 or 40 adjectives just completely naturally. You're completely naturally able to hear heavy, omoi, far, toi, long, nagai. Just get over this kind of common word non-familiarity.
So you're doing Romaji to English.
Yeah, I didn't even bother with writing stuff in Japanese. I just said hiroi, wrote it down, and then wide, and just, you know, I would have this sheet of paper with me for a whole week, and if I was walking somewhere or driving somewhere, I would be going. Obviously, not driving. I wouldn't be driving. Well, maybe I was. It was the 1990s, and you could do what you like. But basically, any time that I could devote part of my brain to doing Japanese, I would just go through these adjectives and just get the main ones, what we'd say, under my belt, where I could just pull them out. Yeah. But I'm probably the least polyglottal amongst all of you, so I'll, by all means, guys, feedback. Come on, Piotr, you speak about 30 languages, don't you? What's your experience?
Yeah, 29. No, what really helped me, I personally started Duolingo like years ago, and the most recent start was 2.5 years ago, the summer before Corona, actually. And I started doing that, and what I noticed was that Duolingo focuses a lot on vocabulary. And a lot of grammar is just introduced with no explanation whatsoever. And then you go into the forums and the explanations are mediocre at best. And then, so it was difficult in the start. And then we started Andy's Nihongo Corner. And Andy focuses entirely on the grammar. And nearly entirely, you know, not giving a bugger about the vocabulary. He will name things here and there, but the focus is really on the grammar. And what I found personally is that the two really complement each other. So I finally started understanding what was happening in the Duolingo lessons in the sessions, because the sentence structure suddenly made sense. And what's fun is I'm still doing that. And Duolingo really helps with the vocabulary, and I do that every day. So I see them, I see the words, I repeat the words. What really works for me as well is repetition. So I'm an auditive learner more than a visual learner. Don't know about you. So hearing those words every time, but also seeing them. So seeing and hearing them at the same time does help. And the combination of grammar on the one side and the vocabulary on the other helped me personally, because if I would have only one of the two, I would feel lacking. I still feel lacking sometimes during these sessions because my vocab is still, you know, I'm still missing a lot when we're doing translation exercises. So, you know, I grab AEDICT and I have to look up words. But remember that if you ever want to say something in the streets, if you're in Japan, you can always grab AEDICT for a word, but not for the grammar. So in that sense, the grammar base for the foundation for the structure of your sentence will be there. And also, so again, personally, what helps is I have set Duolingo to Japanese entirely, no romaji for the Japanese. And I will sometimes try to only read the sentences and sometimes try to only listen to the sentences, or a combination thereof. So, you know, listen to the sentence 2 times, maybe 3 times until I get approximately what they're saying, and then look at it and have a better idea of what's happening. Because the two really will reading and listening will complement each other, and that's something that is still very difficult. So when we're doing these Vietnamese lessons with Andy, yeah, exactly. It really helps that there are Japanese subtitles, because sometimes they will speak nasally or unintelligibly, and I'm like,
or Indianly,
and then I can read the subtitles, and that will help. Conversely, sometimes I have no idea what the subtitles say, because I don't know all the freaking kanji, but then I recognize the word phonetically. So in short, what also helps is watching videos with Japanese subtitles. I try to do that as well. There are several series on Netflix as well that have Japanese, spoken Japanese, but also Japanese subtitles. Things like that can help. So basically what I'm saying is exposure.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm at this point where it's in this weird level. There's a gap between, I tried Duolingo actually last week, and it's frustratingly simple. I even went through the like the placement test at the beginning and basically got almost everything right, because we already have so much grammar background that I can just guess my way through it. And then they give me the first few lessons that is like, this is red, and like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I like cheese.
Yeah. But on the other hand, listening to those Japanese, language channels on YouTube and so on, I get something out of it, but I cannot just listen to it and get most of it. There's too fast, right? So there's like Duolingo, which is just, I mean, it's almost I mean, it's infuriatingly simple what they give you at the beginning, and then these which speak at normal conversation speed that I just can't follow. I would have to spend an hour dissecting every video.
How are you with Shin Nihongo no Kiso, those old videos with the Vietnamese subtitles?
I don't know.
Try it on YouTube, Simon. Just type in Shin Nihongo no Kiso. Maybe the second video is probably your level more than the first one. But they're pretty elemental, aren't they? Elementary, aren't they, Piotr?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, there's quite a bit of vocabulary that's good, and apart from the Gaikokujin who can not pronounce Japanese properly, like we can't either. Sorry. Yeah, so
I'm confused.
It's actually so I don't find that too simple. I find that just the right level, because they don't speak too fast, so it's comprehensible, and it gives you the time to process without getting stuck too much on a single word.
Yeah.
And again, there's the subtitles which really help. So for me, that level is pretty much on spot. I mean, it sometimes is a bit too difficult, but that's mostly vocabulary
and pronunciation.
Yeah, well, yeah. I find those really nice, actually.
Have you tried to speed down the videos? I'm doing this because I'm following the guy that we are doing the Agiru Onomapu, and I'm putting down the speed of the video, and he speaks like that with the subtitles, and that helped me a lot when I'm doing the videos. But I'm doing it at 0.75, very slow, or 0.5, because I'm still very having problem with listening. And putting what I'm listening, I need 2-3 seconds to absorb it, and then I understand. He's already in 3-4 sentences later.
Yeah, he's pretty quick, isn't he?
Putting down all the speed.
If it's 15-minute video and you slow it down by a factor of 3/4 or 4/3 or 2, that really works. It will take you a bit more time, but you will have the chance to understand. And regarding Duolingo, it is annoying, especially if you have very basic Japanese knowledge. The beginning will be like, but what I can tell you is gaman shite kudasai.
I found the same thing with Wanikani. It started off like really, really simple stuff, and then it would kind of hold you at this point for ages before you could move on. And it's like repeating the same exercises, and then you make a mistake because they're asking you something in a funny way and you give the wrong answer. It's like, no, it's not iku, it's to go. And then you sort of go back a few steps. Some of the automated sites are a bit of a pain. Yeah.
Another thing about the Duolingo that I found out yesterday, because I did a lot of the points that you overcome all the hideous stupid steps of hiragana, not the katakana I'm doing them, but the simple repetition of iku, the same thing. They have added, I didn't know, they have added conversations in normal speed, and you have to
the stories.
The stories, yeah, I didn't know that they was there. So I'm listening to the stories.
Like a month ago.
Ah, okay. So it wasn't up till recently.
They were present in other languages, but not in Japanese. But again, like both the grammar and the vocabulary get a lot harder further on.
Yeah.
I mean, again, basically, I don't know how far I am up the tree, 1/3 or 1/2 or something, and I'm encountering things like the te combination for causality that we did this week and last week. Although those are not explained in the lessons, which is why the Andy's Nihongo Corner is amazing. So let's see, I'm now at checkpoint 4 almost. Yeah, so I'm almost 2/3 of the way, and the kanji for me is the most difficult, but it does get more interesting. It does get more complicated. The sentence structures get more convulsed, and the sentences get longer as well. So sometimes, when you can choose which words just with the bubbles, like half of the sentence will already be pre-filled because there's too many bubbles and you can't choose anymore. So then the first rounds you have all the bubbles, and then as you go on in the latter rounds, you have to type. And even for the Japanese, you can set it that you want to type yourself. So if you want to make it more difficult for yourself, you can do that as well. So yeah, I would say just try jumping to checkpoint 2 or 3 maybe, and see how you can do. Or at least you unlock the next levels by just finishing the first round. And if those are really easy, you can just drift, breeze past the first rounds of checkpoints 1 and 2, and then you can just continue from where you feel it starts being, this is new. But yeah, this is red, obviously. You're going to get bored. And as a native speaker, just for funsies, I tried the French introduction and then the level checker, and I was spewed out somewhere in the beginning as well, and we're like, boring. So,
ton français est très mal.
Yeah, I did the same for the Italians actually, because I was like, okay, maybe I can find something new that I haven't studied yet. And I knew everything, and I did the wrong spelling on writing because I was just, bored. And he put me down 3 lessons. No, you're not ready to go to the next level. I was like, what the fuck? It's not even real. This. No, I really enjoy the conversations, because this is what I'm missing, the everyday conversation, normal speed. That I'm really lacking. The vocabulary, I'm really crap, so I cannot help you with that.
Or just listen to the videos, or sometimes the Japanese dramas on Netflix. My wife just watched the dramas. I'm just sitting next to it and just listen to it. I'm not even watching. When I find something interesting, I'll go back and watch it again, and you understand more that way, because you heard it first time. You have some speed training already, and then when you go back to watch it, you find out, oh, that's it. So I was right the first time, and you understand more about it. But I think sometimes just listen to it helps quite a bit, and afterward you actually go and watch the whole video with subtitle and everything. That helps a lot as well.
Okay.
Basically, what it comes down to, exposure, and it's going to take time either way. If you do 1.5 hours of Andy's Nihongo Corner once a week, it's going to improve, but not that much.
The thing is, like, it's not like I didn't spend time. Like, I've done Wanikani for a year probably, you know, and quite but I felt like it's not producing anything that I can use in a conversation. I can start recognizing kanji, yeah, okay, but I can't speak.
Wanikani is only kanji based, right? It's only to read.
Yeah. Well, yes. I mean, it's
so in that sense, the so Duolingo will also give you phonetic. So it will both speak and give you something to read. So you can choose which one you want to do, whether you want to turn off the sound and read only, or whether you want to listen only.
No, I mean, Wanikani also gives you the sound. I mean, you can listen.
Does it give you sentences or just words?
Oh no, just words.
Yeah. So like Consta said, you will get longer and longer sentences, or even short stories that are not necessarily difficult, but they will be spoken at a relatively natural pace, and that really helps.
A lot of the guys in this group use Duolingo. Kim and I think Tom use it as well. It seems to get more use than any of the other kind of apps or websites amongst everybody.
Yeah. I mean, so if I'm gonna formulate a bit of a strategy here, and because I think this also going with a list of, you know, sort of the minimum list of adjectives and so on, that probably works for me as well, just to build a base. But maybe I don't know exactly what your plan is, Andy, with the lessons, but if maybe as a,
did he say plan? Not a plan.
There's not a plan. There's never a plan.
It's when I wake up on a Tuesday morning, I go to the toilet, and while I'm having a pee, I'm thinking to myself, what should we do in Japanese today?
That was way too much information, but thank you. But I was pretty sure.
but if I could choose, maybe a bit of focus on all of the little words and phrases that go into building a natural sounding sentence, all the little buts and very and not and you know, all these
superlatives and
and
exclamations.
Maybe that would be an interesting focus, because it would maybe make us, or at least me, a bit more able to make a sentence out of the minimum of vocabulary we build, we already have, right? So as to actually be able to say something.
Can I just also give a bit of a disclaimer? I'm not very good at building people's confidence in what they're doing, and the same applies for Iaido and Jodo teaching as well. And it's, you know, that I'm not a bad, nasty person, and I'm not a very severe person, but I generally apply the same principles that my first driving instructor gave to me.
And Raha.
And sorry.
That's a reference to the movie, sorry.
Oh, okay. Which is, you know, at sort of lesson number 12, he gave me a mock exam, a mock test. And then at the end of it, he said, right, I've made a list of everything you did wrong, down here. And he did this like 3 weeks running. And at the end, like the following week was my real test. And after the third mock test, still a list of things that had gone wrong. I said, Brian, thanks for doing this, but if I'm getting all these things wrong, then maybe I shouldn't go for my test next week. And he said, no. This is what I saw. The examiner won't see all of this stuff. I want to make sure you're way above that. And this has become my kind of guidance for coaching throughout my life, is I rarely stop and say, oh, you're all doing really, really well. Because do you really want to hear that?
Once in a while, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes like during our Iaido sessions, don't I, Piotr? I say, yeah, this is really good, guys. But generally, what I'm going to do is constantly, what I do with my students in the dojo as well, is I grab them by the hair and I make them run as fast as they can until they're tripping over. And then if at any point I were to say, right, now do it yourself at your own speed, and they can do easy stuff. They can do stuff really, really well. But what you won't get from me is kind of like ping at the end of a lesson and a big tick like appears on the screen on some of the apps. Well done. Here's a big flower. You completed this. You're doing great. I don't do that. you have to motivate yourself. But
I'm really looking for this sort of constructive dissection and you know, like I'm kind of similar in that I have to really force myself to go and say, oh, well done, because when I say something that didn't go well, I say it because I want them to improve, and not, or to give them advice how to improve. So yeah, I get your point. I'm not looking for sort of cheap reassurance here.
No, but also this is the way that we learn languages in life. Is as a child, you don't, except at school, you don't really get, if you manage to say, at 3 years old, if you manage to say a fairly complicated sentence, you don't get everybody coming around and giving you a big hug. You get nothing, actually. People ignore you, and you then just say, well, you think part of your brain thinks, I wasn't corrected, therefore this is correct. So
that's not how it works here in Sweden, but luckily I didn't go to school here in Sweden.
That's actually how I learned Polish, because I kept being corrected every single fucking sentence.
Tell me about it.
I never lived in Poland, so I only learned it by being corrected for everything by my mother for years on end.
Yeah.
And then at some point, she stops correcting you, or you correct yourself before they do. And then well, this is probably okay.
Yeah.
And it's annoying as fuck, but that satisfaction when you stop being corrected.
That's before they get frustrated. I think my daughter is in the stage of frustration right now. She said, don't correct me.
I can't do anything right.
No, but here in Sweden, they don't correct you. They just ignore all your mistakes and you never improve. And it's so not useful.
Yeah, Fabrizio was used to do this. I'm scared to correct you because I'm afraid that you're gonna throw me a plate on my head because you have a very look like don't start. I said, if you don't correct me, I'll never learn. So now I'm a little bit more easy. Said, just tell me if I'm saying something wrong because I'm not being clear.
That's almost the polar opposite to me, isn't it? This is ni, not nu. But Simon, what I would say is, and to all of you as well, if you're stuck on a particular part of some aspect of your Japanese learning and you want more, just drop me a message and I can. So you need to chase me to give you homework or directions of study. Just message me and say, I'm having problems with this area. It might be a very large general area, but generally I'll have some kind of, I've got so many textbooks here. And I have to say that my experience of using websites for finding stuff out about grammar, 50% of the time you end up reading people's opinions and they are often wrong, whereas very few people publish an incorrect textbook on Japanese language. It's normally written by linguists. So you kind of get some really good stuff. But I can just kind of start sending you exercises. In fact, what I wanted to talk to you about, guys, we've got 10 minutes left.
Yeah, sorry, I hijacked it.
No, not at all. It's a good point, actually, because I didn't have a plan for this lesson. And what I wanted to do, actually, was to do a little bit of free speech. But this is interesting now because we can do a little test and a bit of reflection to see for you to see for yourselves how good your Japanese is. We're going to start just in this next minute now. Piotr-san. 申し訳がありませんが、全県連のローマ字通訳をチェックするのは忙しくてできませんでした。はい、皆さんどうでしたか？もう一度言います。申し訳ありませんが、全県連以外のローマ字通訳をチェックするのは私が忙しくてチェックするチャンスができませんでした。をチェックするのができませんでした。Now, did you roughly understand, even if you don't understand the context, did you understand what I basically said?
I missed one word, but from
which was that? 通訳?
通訳、はい。
Translate.
そうそう。
Okay, but the gist without the word.
So, Constantino, I think
what this is about, so that's
yeah, of course, and I think Constantino knows as well. But Simon, Wayne, did you get anything from this?
Well, not everything. No.
Mostly, yeah.
Okay. 申し訳ありません。
That I didn't understand. That I didn't know.
Oh, sorry, Piotr?
It's unforgivable.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. すいませんが、申し訳ありません. I have no excuse. Piotr to. Okay, let me do a background explanation as well. Simon, Wayne, 最後の2年間、ピオトル、コンスタンティーナ、ソフィーとテアさんが全県連居宿本をローマ字通訳していました。書類を作りました。Google ドクを作りました。そして、その4人が、例えばね、ピオトルさんが、四方切りから抜き打ちまで全部ローマ字に通訳しました。テアさんが、例えば7本目、3歩切りから9本目、そういう続きまで通訳しました。etc. ね。私の、なんて言いますか、役目、私の仕事は、それをチェックすることです。でも、忙しくてできませんでした。今はピョトルさんに申し訳ございません。時間がありませんでした。チェックすることができませんでした。それが言いたかったです。どうでしたか？
I missed the 言いたかったです。
I wanted to say.
言いたかったです。
I got it and you did.
Well done. See? Simon,
That's because I haven't been practicing the rows of wanting as an adjective.
Okay. Simon, how did you find that?
Something like this. I mean, now I understood. Something like this for me hinges on individual words. Somebody said translate, and then it clicked because then I recognized the word over and over again, and then it was fine. But if I'm missing that word, I'm kind of getting stuck, and then but I mean, yeah, no, I mean this version, the second one, I was totally understandable.
Excellent. I mean that sort of frustration of not understanding one word, and it comes up time and time again, and you lose the entire meaning of the sentence. As I'm sure you know, because you speak many languages, this is how you learn words, isn't it? You remember being stuck on something, or you make a mistake and you finally find it out and you put it back in the sentence and it all makes sense now. And that experience is much better at keeping in your memory than, for example, looking at a list of words and going, hiroi, wide, nagai, long. This is ideal kind of having an emotional link to a word seats it in your memory much better, doesn't it?
Both can work depending on the type of memory you have.
Some
people can. I've had these hugely annoying people in high school who had a photographic memory. They would just open their textbooks 3 minutes before tests. Okay, and I'm done. They would just scan it and they're done. And they know everything. And if you ask them 3 years later, they will tell you which word it was on which line and what the translation was.
Right. Yeah, those people should be put into mental institutes and not let out.
Yeah, that's
how are these people that I'm pretty sure that these the middle people like me that I'm having photographic memory. I'm doing the test and I'm forgetting immediately.
Well,
like nada, niente, nothing after. I don't know how I passed my psychology test in university with 2 hours between going from my house to the university. I passed with 9.5 out of 10 with just reading in the.
Oh, you got good short-term memory though. That's good.
Yeah, short-term memory, and that's it.
That disappears after time though.
But, there you go.
Yeah, but but this is exactly the point, that you have to do more than just do a quick blast and then repetition. You've got to do repetition, and also program it into a series of different scenarios as well. So read, for example, if you had to remember a sentence, hearing it, reading it, repeating it, and then teaching it to somebody else would be a pretty good way of memorizing it. You've got to put it through a variety of different stimuli.
So, Simon, what might work if this short story by Andy worked for you is indeed taking some YouTubers and then setting down the speed slightly. And if you get stuck on a word, listen to it again, maybe twice or 3 times. And if you still don't get it, then look that one word up and then continue. So doing exactly this, just listening to a text, trying to understand as much as you can from context. And if you really get stuck on it, look it up. And preferably, watch the entire video once. If you know you got stuck somewhere, watch it again and then re-listen, re-watch, listen again, and then maybe look things up.
Can I say something? I don't know if Simon, do you have Instagram? Okay, because I'm following.
Because Constantine wants to send you some photographs.
No. I'm following 3 Japanese that they do live very often. I'm just listening to it on the background, and they are posting a lot of vocabulary. And with the word of the day, they make even sentences, ending with kanji and romanji and hiragana, katakana, everything. So every day I'm learning a new word. If I don't remember, I'm going back. But through the sentences, I remember. But I found them all in Instagram, and they're doing a lot of live, talking only Japanese. If you are interested to start doing that, it's more fun because I'm not having to open my books to write it down. I just open Instagram. Oh, that's a nice word, like art, Jeijutsu. And they explain the museum, the artist, the painting, and they have like something like that. And today I've learned how it's this word. I know I'm gonna forget it, but I can go back and see it because it's on my phone and I'm not forcing myself. Just an idea.
Yeah, that's good suggestion.
Well, I mean, the videos that we tend to rely upon now from YouTube that we use in these classes, I think they've risen to the top because they've been so applicable to us. So I think Onomatu, Miku Sensei, there's that, what's that JLPT one? I can send you the link if you like. That's quite difficult actually, but again, if you put the subtitles on, you'll have this teacher explaining the differences between totemo, taihen, amari, all these kind of superlatives, and really kind of explaining in fine detail what they are. And the lesson itself develops your Japanese because you have to. She speaks really clearly and kind of comprehensibly. Some of the words are a little bit difficult, but then you have to kind of you learn things like the word to concentrate or to emphasize.
That's mesh class.
Tepe is really good.
Sorry, say again.
Mesh class.
Mesh class. Yeah.
And Tepe is very good because Tepe is doing Tepe is a Japanese. He's choosing a word and he's repeating it in all the sentences possible. It's in YouTube.
Right.
Tepe is something I need to find it, but every day is like good morning, how are you? He speaks very uber slow, very good, and he has a word, and today we're going to speak about this word, and he's making sentences, different sentences with this word. He's doing podcasts and live as well. Really good on YouTube. I think it's better than the most I've seen because Onomapu is speaking too fast. He's slow but with example sentence and vocabulary.
Right. If it's any consolation, just before we finish, the TASOGARE classes are not really going to move forward now with much grammar. It's going to be chewing over more exercises from this because this, will introduce lots more vocabulary in context, and we'll learn things like amari, totemo, etc. from this as well. So it's going to be much more practice and conversational based anyway now.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I have not been able to make the Nihonbashi classes recently, but maybe just speaking it a bit more would be good also.
Yeah. Do you ever see Mommy Sensei?
Well, these days not so often. No, we haven't really had any. All traveling was cancelled, but I will see him next weekend.
Oh, okay. Try to just. I guess Tobe might be there as well. Just try and.
Yeah, Tobe is doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, just engage in conversation.
I've seen him do this a month ago, maybe.
Yeah, just do it.
It's tricky, and he, like Momi Sensei, is quite nice. He tries to correct him and so on.
Yeah.
But it's very slow. It like really, if you need to say something in the moment, you just don't have time to translate it. And
Sure. But just do it honestly. Just force yourself into that situation and make mistakes. This is exactly how I learned Japanese. The only talent I've got is a lack of shame about making mistakes and looking like an idiot. That's my special power. Yeah. I'll just have a fucking go. Yeah. And I picked up Japanese pretty quickly because I just did this. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, guys, I better get back to work. While we've been sitting here, I've received about 30 emails. I can hear it going ping, ping, ping in my ears. Oh, go away, please.
Just let you be for today. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday, guys. Are
Thank
you going
you
to?
very much.
Who's going to Maglingen, by the way?
I'm gonna
Still
go.
not sure.
Yes, I'm gonna be there.
Excellent. Wayne?
No, I'm actually in Taiwan during that time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. How are you going to fly there?
Yeah, work. Yeah, have to fly there.
How?
If I pass my PCR, that is.
Well, but aren't there problems with airlines flying?
They don't fly over Russia. They just take different routes.
They take the longer routes.
Have they negotiated all those routes yet? Then?
Yeah, they have.
Oh, okay.
But the ticket costs more now.
Right.
Because of it. Yeah.
So you're flying to Taiwan and coming back from China, or?
No, flying over.
Sorry,
I usually
that was
do.
a very bad joke. Sorry.
Nah, I'm stopping over in Taiwan, in Japan. Hope sometime Japan will open up. Let me sneak in for a few days.
Huh.
But you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Right.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, Andy.
Yeah.
Will you be drunk tonight, or?
No, there's training. There's training.
Cool.
Yeah. See you later on.
Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.
またね。
またね。気をつけて。
Thank you.